So this is how Tinubu is going to end his presidency so early. Tinubu never saw this coming. He thought that the University of Chicago will keep their promises. I mean, there is something called data protection that Bola Ahmed Tinubu quoted back then when this issue came up. I'm talking about the Chicago University certificate saga. Some have said that the gender on that certificate is female, whilst the name on it is quite, there is Bola, there is this, there is Ahmed, and people cannot just understand what is really happening. Did Bola Ahmed Tinubu really attend Chicago University? Did he finish? What is the problem? Is it a female that attended university and Bola Ahmed Tinubu made use of the late females, documents, credentials, and all of that? What is it about Bola Ahmed Tinubu? We all know that Bola Ahmed Tinubu has a lot of secrets that are not really secrets. I mean, he was adopted. His mother is not known by anybody. You will never find pictures of the real mother of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and many other, issues have been raised. Now that Atiku Abubakar and of course Peter Obi have decided to reach out to Chicago State University, and they are petitioning the university for the sake of integrity, for the sake of the name of your university, you must do the needful. And now, lo and behold, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is in for a shocker. He's in for a shocker because should all of this come out to light and the court comes to a conclusion of this certificate, and if Bola Ahmed Tinubu is qualified to become president, what will Bola Ahmed Tinubu do? What will Bola Ahmed Tinubu do? He has said it that if he is removed, there will be chaos in Nigeria. Will there be really chaos in Nigeria if Bola Ahmed Tinubu is kicked out by the judiciary for presenting false certificate? Will Bola Ahmed Tinubu be asked to return some of what he has acquired all the while he became governor and all of that? Like, you presented fake certificate. Don't forget that this same issue came up during the last regime of Major General Muhammadu Buhari, the president of Nigeria. We'll call it a regime because he disobeyed court order, DSS. It's a crazy time, crazy period. Well, it came up, and people like Festus Keyamo quickly jumped out to say that the Constitution does not say that you must, that if you have something equivalent to this and that, and they even issued the president of Nigeria a YX certificate. And I wonder what that certificate is all about. Did he write exams? We all know what happens in the northern part of Nigeria. It is called affirmative action. What does that simply mean? In the north of Nigeria, it simply implies that certain regions, certain parts of Nigeria, in quote, that are deprived. I don't know how they are deprived. Nobody forced them not to go to school. That are deprived should be given some extra. That is why in the northern part of Nigeria, you see people scoring 200 and being admitted for medicine, while in the other parts of Nigeria, in the south of Nigeria, people who score 300, 350 have not even been allowed to go in for studies. Well, without further ado, let us listen to this analysis, and you know how this analysis goes. It is going to be deep. I'll be with you from the beginning of it to the end of it. We will be breaking it down word for word.
About the date, the school stated on his recently issued certificate, Tinubu's lawyers argued that the university incorrectly wrote the date of graduation as June 27th, 1979, instead of June 22nd, 1979, along with a change in the university's logo, which created the appearance of differences between an earlier issued diploma and the one issued in response to a 2022 subpoena. The claim is in their response to a suit filed by former Vice President Atiku Abubakar seeking the disclosure of Tinubu's academic records from the university. Well, users on social media have shared mixed reactions. Before I take tweets, Rufai, I'd love for you to just chime in here, because you know that this issue of whether certificates forgery has been, on the forefront of all eyes on the judiciary.
No, but we just have to state clearly that anything happening in American courts is of no consequence to what the judiciary has reserved a date for already. This is separate from it. But there's been many conversation around this Chigago debacle. And many cases have been filed. And many subpoenas have been issued, all right, as regards this. And some actors somewhere have orchestrated also many lies. One of them, I think we had to talk about this around November last year, was that we brought to fore that there had been a case filed as regards this conundrum of certificates at the courts in Abuja. I think it was the Federal High Court or something. I don't know the jurisdiction of the court now, where Enahoro Eba, a lawyer, said that he had instructed his partner, Knowles, in Chigago, to subpoena Chigago to get details of, degrees and all of that, and school records and all of that. And he said this was at variance with what the president, now sent to INEC then.
Right.
There's that conundrum. And I think we talked emphatically as regards this. That was what happened then. Now, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar in America also using the court system to be able to know more. And in fact, I think for the sake of clarification, somebody had claimed that they even went to Chigago.
I know that's somebody.
The point I made was the person claimed they went to Chigago on the 19th of September. That was the day they visited Chigago. But why is it that the document the person claimed Chigago gave them was unsigned and it was dated in June? So there's been a lot of conundrum, and I would like the courts to be able to unpack it. But Alhaji Atiku Abubakar has filed in America, and the response of the Tinubu team now is the fact that there was a clerical error as regards date of graduation and the likes and all of that. Whatever it is, this matter is sub judice, and the court will rule. What I just gave is a hitherto background. I will not talk about the matter that is sub judice.
Right.
All right? But there's been a lot of back and forth and confusion as regards this. So let's see how this court process pans out. The deposition and the reportage is all there for all to read.
Right.
Pure and simple.
Well, you know that United States had given Tinubu until August 23rd, that is what, 2 days ago?
Yeah.
To, give reasons as to why his records should not be released to the former vice president. But, before I come to you, let me take some tweets. This is from Spotlight, who wrote, Chigago State University had the opportunity to proactively issue an official statement to disassociate itself from the narco runner and lay out whatever went wrong with its internal admission processes over 45 years ago, but they preferred to cover it up and hope the stench would go away. This is certainly how not to handle a crisis. PR 101. Everyone knows that a lot of people traveled and worked with other people's identities back then because of absence of biometrics, etc. So there is no way they haven't reviewed this case over and over and identified what went wrong since Nigerians started pursuing this matter. Over to you, Ayo.
Yeah, as has been mentioned already, this matter has come up a number of times, and in the last election, it tried to, some people tried to bring it up again, especially from the opposition. And it is important, even though it has no bearing on the judgment that's reserved by, that's in court currently in terms of the presidential election petition tribunal. I think it's important for Nigerians to know the truth, even if it's just to put it on the record. And then one thing about the United States of America is that they will uphold the rule of law. And so even though Chigago State University hitherto had not wanted to and had given a post-dated date to release the details of the school records, by the act of law, the former Vice President Atiku has been able to place a demand for them to release it. So the onus would be on them then to see if they are going to do so or not. At the end of the day, even though, as has been established, it has no bearing on the judgment, it is important for Nigerians to know the truth. And let's put pay to this conversation around, oh, where's your background, what school did you attend?
Presently remains the president of Nigeria. But when will this come to an end? According to the report, and of course the update from the United States of America, because Atiku and others are pressing real hard on this, when will the United States of America produce all documents of Bola Ahmed Tinubu for public consumption? After all, he's the president of Nigeria, and he shouldn't have eating and all of these skeletons in his cupboard. Bola Ahmed Tinubu has something to hide, obviously, and he doesn't want this to be out. If not, he will gladly ask the United States to produce his records, academic records, and whatever it is, age, this and that. Now they have asked him, give us reasons why you do not want your academic records to be put out in public. Why? And part of the reasons is Bola Ahmed Tinubu quoting one of the constitution law in the United States as at that time that he got his certificate released, that, sorry, I'm holding on to that law and you cannot breach that law. You cannot in any way put out my data to the public. How long is this going to last? How long is it going to last? Is this for the sake of peace and calm? Let us know. That is what everyone is saying. For those who are obedient, they are waiting patiently. For those who are also articulated, they are also waiting patiently for the United States of America to finally, according to the post-dated period, they are waiting on them to finally release this to the public. Will they do it? I do not know. Regardless of what people believe that, the United States, it's a country where the law is upheld. Of course, the law is upheld, really. The law is upheld. We can say 80% of the law is upheld. But that does not mean that 100% they will uphold the law when it comes to, in quote, countries that have third world. They will sit down and call in their expert to look into it. Like, is there something that we can use against this president? Is there something? Can we pressure him to get something in his country? Are there favors that we can get from him? Are there other countries that he can muscle on? Is there something that he can do for us based on, I don't want to use the word blackmail, but they do these things. Of course, we've seen several incidents that have happened in countries that are oil rich, where the United States of America will plunder that country. They will lie, come up with stories. For those who do not believe what I'm saying, or who are quick to jump and say, no, the United States is not like that, I want you to check what Donald Trump said when he was asked about his tax evasion. Ask him the other candidate, Hillary Clinton, to talk about the email that got leaked. And that email shows that a certain Arab country was invaded by the United States, not because of any other thing than their own personal gain, because of the oil and many other things. So we do not know what is going to happen, but we'll keep our fingers crossed. Let us wait patiently to see. Let us see what will become of Bola Ahmed Tinubu should the tribunal finally lay hold on the data, documents
of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Like and share this video, subscribe to this channel. See you in the next one.